Guess I'd be considered extremely unattractive to most women.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Recently, someone posted a list of so-called least attractive hobbies for men according to women on social media. And according to this list of least attractive hobbies for men according to women, it states that the high numbers are for hobbies such as playing video games and collecting figures, and on the low end they talk about hobbies such as building model trains and comic book collecting. Now, according to this unscientific poll that was presented on social media, these hobbies that men have that are unattractive to women, and because these hobbies are unattractive to women, they are supposed to be considered to be undesirable. Now, I really looked at this list and I shook my head because I have been a toy collector for over 30 years. I have been a comic book collector for over 30 years. And I have been a fan of video games ever since they came out in the 1980s. So, according to this list, I would be considered to be one of those guys who wouldn't be attractive to women because of my interest in comic books, action figures, and video games. So according to this list, I would be an undesirable guy to women. However, I have no problem attracting women out here when I go outside. I have no problems at all. And that's why I basically look at this list and basically take it with a grain of salt. And the reason why I take it with a grain of salt is because when it comes to the hobbies of men, this is something that we do for ourselves. It's something we do out of our passions for the things that we love to do. And I know myself, I became a fan of comic books and action figures due to the relationship I have with my brother that I started out when I was about 4 years old. He basically showed me who all of the Avengers and the characters from the DC Comics universe were, and we also shared a lot of great times going to comic book stores and toy shows back when I was a teenager. So that whole relationship is one of the reasons I got into these hobbies, and those hobbies basically were how I learned to read as a little boy. So those hobbies have a deep personal connection for me, and there's something that again I do out of my love for my brother, and two, my love for these characters, because these characters were basically characters I grew up with. And I started collecting toys again way back in the late 1980s because I wanted to get the Voltrons that I always wanted. And the first Voltron I got was from my mother at 14 years old at Christmas, and the other two I got from my brother. So I have had a great love for collecting toys for years, and it doesn't mean anything negative at all. Now, a lot of people want to say that these hobbies are unattractive because they say someone appears to be maladjusted if they're into these kinds of hobbies, but that's not the case at all. No, a lot of guys have hobbies that they're into, again, because they have a great passion for something that they enjoy, and they do this because it's all part of their own personal interests. Moreover, it's all part of their male nature, because when it comes to men, men are natural builders, and because men are natural builders, these hobbies basically are attractive to them because it allows them to go out here and build. Now, when it comes to men, we play video games because out of that whole hobby of building, what we want to do is see something accomplished, and that's what makes video games interesting to us, because it allows us to continue to accomplish a goal as related to completing the steps of a level of a video game. And when it comes to collecting figures, that's also about building, because a lot of guys, we like to build by collecting the entire way. wave and getting all the characters of a line. That's all part of our natural traits of building. Same thing when it comes to comic book collecting. It's something that we do because it allows us to use our natural building skills, and it also allows us to be able to use our hands, because in each of the cases, video games, comic books, and collecting figures, a boy or a man likes to use his hands, and that's all part of the natural. That's what makes these hobbies attractive for men, is that it all bases on our male nature and our passions for being men, and allowing us to go out here and build on some level. Now, some of us out here, we build other things in addition to these hobbies. We go out here and we build businesses, or we're building on a job. But us going out here and having these hobbies allows us to take things from step to step to step to accomplish something, and that's something that means something to a man, and it all is a part of a man's natural purpose. A man's natural purpose is to go out and build, and this is something many women don't understand. They'll sit there and go, oh, why is he collecting these comics? Why is he playing these video games? Why is he out here collecting figures? Well, he's doing that all out of those natural traits of masculinity and those natural traits of manhood. And if he's participating in this behavior, it's a positive thing, because it means he's basically exercising his natural masculine behavior. And many women need to understand that a man needs to have his natural masculine traits and be able to participate in natural masculine behaviors, because that's just basically what a man needs to do in order to be a man. Now, these women who find these hobbies to be unattractive, that's also out of female nature. And when it comes to female nature, a lot of women don't like the idea of men going out here and having these hobbies, mainly because many of these women are insecure about being the center of attention in a relationship. And because they are extremely insecure about being the center of an attention in a relationship, they start to express their disdain for a man having these kinds of hobbies. And they express their disdain because they fear that if these men have these hobbies, they can't be the center of attention. And because they fear they can't be the center of attention, this is why they have an issue with their man going out here and playing video games, or collecting action figures, or going out here and participating in comic book collecting, or building model trains, because what they're upset about is that they won't be the center of that man's attention, and they fear that if that man isn't making them their center of attention, they won't have a secure place in that space that they've gone out here and nested. Now, when it comes to most women, they want to be with a man that they can have a comfortable space in to nest. And because they want to nest, they want their nest to be a certain way. And since they want their nest to be a certain way, what they fear is that that man, when he goes out here and starts having his own space in the nest, they won't have that space in the nest. And they won't have that space in the nest where they can be the center of attention. So this is why a lot of women get upset about their men going out here and having these hobbies, and they get upset thinking, oh, this man has this hobby where he is out here focusing on something else, not understanding that that man loves them and again needs his own time and space to be himself. Every man needs time and space of his own to be by himself, and that's what some insecure women don't understand. They don't understand that a man needs space to be himself and space to be by himself. Moreover, he needs to be in a space where he can be with other men and participate in activities that allow him to bond and connect with other men, because that allows him to have masculine energy and trade masculine energy with other men. Men need these kinds of hobbies to be able to, again, share their interests with other men and spend time with other men, the same way that women need time to be with other women and need time to go hang out with other women, men and women need separate time and space for each other. And that's something that some women don't understand because they grew up in very unhealthy relationships and around unhealthy people. They don't understand that a man is supposed to have his hobbies and his interests, and he's supposed to have hobbies and interests outside of you, because one of the things that many women really wouldn't want is some weak guy out here basically worshiping them. I mean, would you want a man up under you all the time, always looking to show affection to you? Critical question I gotta ask these women who complain about the hobbies of men. I mean, do you want this man up under you all the time, all up in your face every second? I mean, that gets really annoying that this guy is up in your face every day, or he's sitting up on a sofa up under you. I mean, that gets to be really annoying over time, and that's why a man has to have his hobbies and his interests, because those hobbies and interests show that he has a passion for something and is focused on something outside of just being in a relationship with a woman. Because one of the worst things a guy can be is one of what I call these cling monsters, who's basically all up under a woman every 8 seconds. I mean, that basically is a guy with serious mommy issues, but a healthy, balanced man is not up under no woman. No, he's out here working and on a job parts of the day, and when he comes home, he's working with the kids, and if he has kids, to help them learn things, and in his own personal time, he's working on his hobbies. And you should be grateful that he has hobbies, because again, if a man is working on his hobbies, he's basically working on the things that he's passionate about. And if he's working on the things that he's passionate about, guess what? You know where he is. Because when it comes to some women, they don't appreciate the fact that their man basically has these interests and hobbies, because again, that means you have a healthy man, and one, you know where he is, you know where he's about, what he's about, and it's better that he be in the house with his hobbies, like his video games or his comic books or his action figures or even his model trains. It's better that he be out here on his hobbies rather than be out in the streets checking for other females, because that's where the insecure female will basically be on the road to being out on the street. Because basically, if that guy is out here in them streets, basically out here on these streets hanging with the fellas, guess what? Other women gonna be checking for that dude, and she ain't gonna have a problem with that man playing video games or collecting action figures or going out here and collecting comic books or playing with model trains, because she knows that, hey, I got a spot to be in a nest. And in a world where there are 4 to 7 to 11 women for every one man, there is always an opportunity for her to slide in. And that's what many of the insecure women really need to think about. There's more women out here looking to compete to get a spot, and if they see a guy with a nice cozy spot where he got his video games, he got his action figures, and he got his model trains and his comic books, then she know, 1, that man's revenue is tight, and 2, she knows that that man's spot is very nice, and there's a spot open for her if she goes out here and shows that man some respect. If she shows that man more respect than the current woman he's with, then that door is going to open for her to slide in. And that's what many women really don't think critically about, because they're so in their feelings about this man having these hobbies that they don't see where they're going. No, they don't see that every effort that you try to push this man away from the things he's passionate about is that you're driving him further away from you. And if you keep complaining about everything, he's not going to see a loving relationship with you anymore. No, what he's going to see is somebody who's going to be a problem for him as related to that relationship, and a problem that basically just doesn't give him that space to be himself, because when it comes to men, as I've stated in many of my books like Stop Simping, why 70% of black women are single, and The Woman Crisis and The Man Crisis, men and women are as is, and as you found that man is how he will be. And when it comes to men, if this man had hobbies and interests outside of you, he's going to continue to have those hobbies and interests, because again, the only men who would give up the things that they are passionate about are just weak beta males and simps who hope to possibly get the attention and approval of a woman. But those men wind up losing their intangibles of manhood, such as their dignity and their self-respect, and they allow this woman to restrict their freedom. And when they allow them to restrict their freedom, the only women who want to do this are these domineering, controlling women who basically are extremely insecure. And these women are insecure because these women, again, don't know how to have a relationship with a man. They want to control everything as related to a man, but they get frustrated because that man isn't pushing back and taking the lead. And that's not something a man who loves his hobbies does. A man who loves his hobbies is, again, going to work on those hobbies, and he's going to find a partner who wants to work with him. Because while some people will say, oh, these hobbies are not attractive, again, I will repeat it once more, there are women who will go out here and understand, yeah, that man's going to have his hobbies, and it's better that that man be focused on them hobbies and be at that toy show or be at that comic shop when the few that are around, or be out here playing that video game, because one, I know where that man is, and two, I know that man is focused on whatever he's doing, and he's not out here chasing other women. So that woman knows that she is, again, secure in a spot, because if that man is focused on his hobbies, she can be safe and secure in her part of the nest, because she knows he's in his part of his nest. And because she knows this, she's not really fazed by anything, because she's like, okay, he's out here playing that video game, so I know that he's going to be out in the house and chill in the house, and maybe I can go chill with him after the game is over, or after he's finished opening up the figures or going out here and finish reading his comics. I can go step to him later on, and I can go step to him because I know where he is, and it's better that I know where dude is rather than try to figure out where dude is like you have to do with many of the players out here who got women on rotation. No, when it come to the player got women on rotation, and since he got women on rotation, he can basically rotate you out if you start complaining. That's something many women don't think about. And again, as if you really take a critical look at a man's hobbies, yeah, they may appear to be unattractive to some women, because in their social circles, they want to be able to get clout with other women by saying their man is into certain things and try to impress those other women. But the smart women say, okay, that man, yeah, he got these hobbies, but I'm just grateful to have a man, because at least I know where my man is. At least I know that my man is caring about me. This man is with me right now, and I could be out here on these streets worrying about where this man is, but if this man got certain hobbies, I know what he's about and what he's doing. And the smart women basically look at this dude's hobbies and understand, as long as he's got a budget for these hobbies and it's not really messing with our bills, as long as this guy is taking care of business, it's one of those trade-offs they'll accept. They'll say, okay, this dude can go out here and play with his video games or play with his action figures or go out here and build them model trains. I'll take that trade-off, because at least my man is in the house, my husband or my boyfriend is in the house, and he's not out here like these other guys going out here chasing other women. And if he's in his own space and he's allowed to relax, that means he can relax with me later on. And also, if he's relaxed in his own space, I got my own space to be by myself, and I can be by myself and again have my own interests and be chill with my own interests, because I've seen people who have guys who collect action figures. Their girlfriends are in the Monster High, and they collect their own stuff. And they have other hobbies like cooking. And even when some of the car guys, the women are cool with the car guy, because at least they know, yeah, this dude, he got a ride, one, and it's fly. Two, I know that he's working on cars, so he got a skill. And three, he's chilling and in his own spot. So people who are smart are not going to sit there and complain about, oh, these hobbies are least attractive to women, because again, the simps are the only ones who will go out here and follow this list and give up their hobbies. The simps will think, oh, this will make me more attractive to women, but it's not going to make you more attractive to women. No, it's going to make, if you go out here and cow down to women and give up your hobbies and interests, women going to lose respect for you, because when it comes to these kind of lists are a crap test to see if you're going to stand up like a man and stand up for what you're passionate about. That's what these lists are all about. These lists are, again, a form of a crap test to see if you'll give up your passion, give up what you love in order to get the attention of a woman. And no man of character is going to give up the things that he's passionate about. No, he'll charge that woman to the game before he gives up the things that he loves and go out here and look for another woman, because what's attractive to him is a woman who is secure in himself. What's attractive to him is a woman who has the confidence to go out here and be her own self. And what's attractive to him is a woman who will respect his boundaries, respect his passion, and respect the things that he cares about. Because as the leader and the head, it's the woman's job to follow the man's lead. And if that man is not out here doing anything illegal or doing things that are breaching the budget of the home, I mean, no woman should really have a problem with what a man does. But you have these women who want to go out here and try to, again, get these simps riled up. Get the simps riled up to the point where they're talking about the hobbies that men have. And again, some of them want to try to box you in. Like I was watching an Iron Can video where he was talking about how they're trying to say it's just nerds and geeks into this stuff. Well, I haven't been a nerd or a geek at all. No, I'm just a loner type guy. And again, these hobbies come out of my love for my brother and my relationship with my brother. And these are things that people do. Again, there are normal guys who collect comics and action figures. I mean, there are guys out here, many wrestlers are collecting them. Guys like Cody Rhodes, who's the WWE champion, Ethan Page, who's the NXT champion. I mean, they are big into comics, sci-fi, and fantasy, not to mention actors like Samuel L. Jackson and many others. So there are lots of guys who like this type of stuff, and they come from all walks of life. And again, these men are some of the most attractive men in the world. They're married and have families, and that means that, I mean, these hobbies are attractive to those women because they see that these hobbies are a part of the lives of their men, and they want to be a part of the life of their man. So they love these hobbies, and again, these hobbies are not a problem. I mean, as I see it, I mean, if a guy is into comics or science fiction or fantasy, it's better for him to be into these type of things with the figures and the video games rather than be out here chasing other women. And it's better for a man to have his hobbies and interests and have the space to be able to have those hobbies and interests than a woman be out here worrying about whether this man getting phone numbers, because that could be a hobby too. And it is a hobby for some guys to actually be on the streets collecting phone numbers. And it's better for your man to be collecting some figures or some comic books than collecting phone numbers and possibly looking to audition replacements for you. Now, if you want to learn about all of the ways that men, again, behave, you can pick up many of my men's issues books, and these books will show you how to, again, be with a man and have a relationship with men. I mean, I have books like the Stop Simpin' series, like the Stop Simpin', Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, and the Misadventures of Captain Save 'Em. Stop Simping in the Workplace, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and books like The Man Crisis and The Woman Crisis, and Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And all these books will show you all the things as related to dating and relationships that go on in the modern world. You can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, and you can also find them at Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And for you guys who like action-packed fantasy, you can pick up the books of the SJS Direct Universe, such as those in the ISIS series, the Esteem series, and the John Haynes series. And if you ladies want to pick up some books, you can get some great women's fiction and some romance with books like the Spinsterella trilogy, The Thetas, A Recipe for Success, or my vampire novel Eternal Night. And you guys can also check out my comic John Haynes at Death's Door, which is available on Lulu.com right now, or my first full digital comic Esteem No Good Deed, which is on Kindle for 99 cents. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about relationships and dating, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Illuminati. The man who rules the world takes on the head of the global elite in this all-new action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Illuminati in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.